Okay.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? JEFFERSCRAFT back again. We're gonna play, of course, Final Fantasy XIV. Me and Rebel here in the making. Yes.
It's like I read the story script for you. Yeah, you're right at a tipping point in the game where you're becoming important.
These guys look funny, dude.
Yes, that's
The
one
hats.
from each of the grand companies. Well, they don't look that different other than the color.
Right. They all like me now, huh?
Yeah. You're one of the gang. But they all want you to be part of their team.
Right.
And I will say, even though they're going to try to make a big deal out of making sure you choose the right one, don't stress on it. Choose whichever one, and then you can always change it later on. Like, there's a point later on in the game, once you get to a certain point, that you can switch. So it's like, just pick one. I went with the one I like the color and the speech best on. Because you get to watch a speech for each of them.
Okay, yeah. I think I already know what I pick.
You already think you like one?
Yeah.
But they're gonna make you watch some speeches any which
That's
way.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
No, it's funny. The speeches I found very, like, I don't know, like a mixture of great and like, I don't know. Some of them are better than others. I'm not gonna try to lean you one way or the other. But I did find it, like, definitely like you're watching politicians, and some will click with you and some won't. You know.
Right. Ah, good old politicians.
So I figured out that there's a dungeon that I have on my list that I was like, why haven't we unlocked this dungeon yet? And I looked it up. It's a secondary dungeon.
Okay.
So there's actually a whole new dungeon we can unlock at the level you're at
Oh, cool. Okay.
without having to do anything more, really, I think.
Okay, let Jeffers hear our leader speak. Return with her decision. Okay. The Lollapel is like depressed. It's like cool. I have the power to shape anew.
You are now a scion, 7th dawn. Official superhero stuff.
Yes, sir. I am.
Yeah, I think so. If not, it'll be.
I lost my son to the calamity.
I think so.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body.
So what I'll do is I'll just pantomime on my side.
There I am. Good looking.
Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood.
Okay, I gotta push something.
Fearful of the
Yeah, it's
green
gonna make
wrath,
it. There is an option
they
to make
hid
it do
themselves
that
in the dark
for you.
recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago.
Nice.
Working hand in hand, the Hure and the Elysian settlers sowed
this
the
a spoken
seeds
part?
of our civilization. And soon, they were joined by folk of all races.
Is it what?
Is this spoken?
Yeah, it's spoken yet.
Okay, I thought so. I thought so.
So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hure and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat.
Yeah. Good speech.
Yeah, hers is a good one, huh?
5 years ago,
I don't tell anybody which
the
one's the good one, but
Alliance
there's a
met
couple
the
good ones,
armies
right?
of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost.
Dang.
As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity.
The calamity.
The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on that
high
bloody
roads without
Ixal.
fear.
On this day,
I'm getting
5
chills.
years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the forest.
Yeah.
Elementals!
Good speech.
Right? Well done, right? Okay. One speech done.
Awesome, dude.
They do a good job at least making the speech compelling, you know, not just be like, I hate this guy.
Yeah, this is
You know?
boring.
If
Yeah,
you'll permit
they could have
me,
made it a lot worse, right?
Alfino.
Yeah,
For a speech that you had to talk, you had to do as part of the plot.
right.
And my sister,
And you get to meet two
Alize,
characters,
at your service.
two new people. Alpha Nod
I
and
saw at a glance that you
LSI.
were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of
Weird
history,
names, I know.
sampling the realm's
You'll get used to it. It's like
remembrances in pursuit
every
of
name in this game has kind of got its own
enlightenment.
flair, but what I really find very interesting if you look at it,
Yeah.
like every name somehow has some different culture to it too. They use lots of different culture spellings and explanations.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so no more talking, I guess. The talking's over.
I didn't want to be like, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
On
no.
my side, it all looks identical.
Right now.
It looks like speech bubbles no matter what. So, because it doesn't do the sound. But hey, we kind of did it. We gave them the time to talk.
Yeah, it was good.
I will say, I think all the speeches are pretty good. I definitely think some are better than others. Obviously, it depends on what you think. But
Yeah.
it's cool that they kind of do this. They kind of like try to introduce each area, and they're kind of give you a little history of the area.
And then I choose which side
You
I...
choose which of these teams you want to be part of. Now, it's like I said, it's a decision that only affects basically the color of your chocobo. Not the color of the actual chocobo, but the color of the barding that goes on the chocobo.
Okay.
And it affects kind of the color of the team you're on, basically. There's a yellow team that you're dealing with right here. There's Ulda, that's kind of the blue team, and then there's the fire one, which is the red team.
Okay. Oh, those guys look cool.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanimo herself!
And Reborn as well.
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Nice.
Hurrah! Reborn! Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Uldar!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade.
Amalja, that's how you say that.
Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth.
I said Amalja, that's how you say it.
We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you.
I beseech you.
Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people. Yeah, for Uldar!
Yeah.
Together we are one.
Your grace.
Your grace.
Reborn?
Hold on, let me adjust something.
Sure.
Okay. Look at that. Like,
People of Uldar, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Uldar. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Uldar, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are by fire reborn!
Nice.
Another good speech.
Yeah, that was good, man. That guy was
Forsooth,
intense.
It's very different, right?
Yeah.
Fancy meeting you
Very
again.
different vibe than the first one.
Yes.
And you got one more to go.
I'm so tall compared to these guys. It's funny.
Yeah. Now, I suddenly have realized how tall I am now because you keep saying how tall you are.
I
and
know,
people
I
are going, "You're
I
right,
just-
I am.
I always notice it because every time they do these and I'm standing next to somebody. All right.
It's funny. I think my character looks a lot shorter than yours, but it's just because the ears.
Yeah, you're not that much shorter than me, but compared to these guys right here, I'm like 2 feet taller. It looks like.
Yeah. Well, they're little kids.
Oh, okay.
Alphanod and his sister are like 13 and 14.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They're supposed to be little. I mean, they're short folk. They would be tall. They're elves, but they're
Right.
kids. Weird dressed kids, but kids.
It's like a lag. The lag. Yeah.
Yes, it's just it's a slight
Like a
delay.
lag.
Isn't
It's
it?
Yeah,
another matter
delay, yeah.
altogether.
So much
Should
for our
let you do.
alliance.
It's
I
sunk
was like
beyond
talking
the
like
sea
weird.
bed.
They're both. Oh.
Yes. This is the talking one.
Hmm.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, she's the leader of them.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Ah, yeah, ah,
Yeah.
ah, yeah, ah.
Hooray!
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners. And together, we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage. Yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishbuck
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Guardian Empire. Even now, the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt Pirate and Maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Gather the lads!
Yay!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
Hooray, another one down.
I'll follow
This
you
speech
to the
bites the
seven
dust.
hells, Admiral.
Awesome, dude.
Now you gotta make the biggest decision of your entire life.
Oh my gosh.
Fancy meeting you again.
They're following me around.
What do you mean? You don't think it's random happenstance that they're
They're
always
just
where
showing
you
up
are?
everywhere
Why
I
would-
am.
It can't have anything to do with you. I mean, really. What do you
Right.
think you are? It also doesn't make it seem like they have anything to do with you because they talk to you every time.
Yeah, I'm the center of this universe.
Yeah.
Oops. No, I don't want to skip.
I hate that it starts out on yes.
Yes.
Because if you accidentally tap it again, you immediately skip
You
the
would
scene
skip
rather
all
than...
of it, yeah.
Yeah, like you think if it was one of those things where it's like, are you sure? It would start on no.
Yeah, really.
That way if you double tap, you accidentally don't automatically stop it.
Yeah, if you're being in a hurry or
You know what I
something.
mean? Yeah, most of the time when you have those like checks and balances to make sure people don't accidentally do it, you set it where if you button mash, you don't accidentally do it, you know? But even with that little step, if you button mash, you get right out of the cutscene.
Yeah, miss all this.
There is a way in ins where you can go back and rewatch scenes. So let's say I talked over one, you're like, oh, I didn't understand a word he said. You could literally go to an inn and go rewatch it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it doesn't cost anything. Well, the inn costs a couple hundred gil, but like the rewatching costs nothing. So we can do that if we ever need to.
Okay. Jeffers. Okay. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service was now concluded? Yes.
They're not watching you. She just randomly figured that out, I swear.
Right? Oh, I see.
So my brain was so focused on that chocobo because I did not want to run around anymore. I wanted to go fast.
Yeah.
That like I was like just
Gods
so
only
focused on
know
MSQ
what
till I got past
grand
this point.
company
so I
our
could get the chocobo.
adventurer friend will
It was a
keep.
big deal to me at the point.
Yeah. All right, so I think they're talking one. Hold on.
The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies, as though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity?
Yeah, true. They didn't mention the Heroes of Light, huh?
No, dear Alizé, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience.
She mad.
There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
Ooh. Is that a threat? A veiled threat.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Hopefully you enjoyed. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Peace.